peoples, we have a winner of the Eurovision Song Contest 2000. Let me change settings here. Whoopsie, wrong button. Of the Eurovision Song Contest 2022, the betting odds favorites, Ukraine, did end up winning at all. And what a win with the televoters. I cannot believe that this actually there was always expectations that Ukraine would win the televote, but let that sink in. The amount of points, they got like 430 something points. And let me bring in Connor real quick here. He just joined. We're already live, Connor, in case you're wondering. So it's that is like almost all televote 12 pointers, I think. Connor, was it 438, I think, for the televote for Ukraine? Do you remember? You're on mute, I think, or it's me. At least
439 points.
And I think I just did the math. I think it said if you do 12 times 39, because that is basically what you can get, right? 39 times 12, that's 468. That means they got the vast majority of 12 pointers. Mm-hmm. So that will leave a lot of room for discussion, huh?
I mean, yes, but like at the same time, I think it's a matter of public opinion. I mean, people want to support Ukraine, and this is the way that they support Ukraine. And it is what it is. I mean, we cannot dictate how people assign their televotes. So,
yes,
I mean, I think that if Ukraine had run away with like a 900 points winning the jury in a televote, then yeah, we really have a big discussion here. But they were not in the lead when the juries came out, and it's purely the televote.
Yep, so that is absolutely right. What was I agree with you, actually. It's up to each televoter. These are unique times, and I know there will be a lot of people who will be not happy with that. I get all of that. But you have to, everyone, as you said, has to make the decision how they want to vote. To me, it was one of my favorites anyway, so I cannot be upset anyways. But these are very unique times and unique circumstances. Were you surprised that it did quite well with the juries as well?
Oh, no. I knew that this was going to pick up points along the way. And in fact, when you go through it, I mean, they got 12 points across the juries from Poland, Moldova, Latvia, Romania, and Lithuania, which when you look at who that is, I mean, Poland, Moldova, Latvia, Romania, and Lithuania are all of those countries right there next to Ukraine.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you look into the political history of Latvia and Lithuania. It makes sense. So, beyond that, I mean, if they had gotten all the 12 points, I would have been like, okay, I'm actually shocked by that. But no, the 12 points they got, and then the points they picked up along the way, not shocking by any means to me.
Yeah. No, I absolutely agree. I mean, I'm glad. But yeah, certainly it it was still did your jaw drop at all when you saw the number of televotes, or were you like, no, I could see that happening?
Well, me and my partner were playing a little game where I tried to guess all of everything.
Me too, in my reaction video, so you'll see that.
And
I
said Ukraine 380. I was like, I'm just gonna throw a number 380, and it was 439. I was like, well, I was close. So no, I was not that shocked because I knew that it was going to be very popular.
Yeah. No, I guess like it's going to be like 300, 320, 330. I just didn't think it would be 439. That was just out of this world.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think as well, and I said this on the phone with my partner as well, I was like, legitimately, either way that this goes, I think the UK is going to host. With them coming in second place in the grand final, I think they're going to possibly get right of first refusal when it comes to hosting the contest next year. And I know that a lot of people have been like, well, we'll host or we'll be interested. Spain's been interested, like all of that stuff. But I think that really it's going to go to the UK. So in a way, this is going to kind of be like a joint victory because the UK gets to host Eurovision and celebrate a top 3 finish after being bottom 5 for years, whilst also being able to host on the behalf of the Ukrainian delegation.
I mean, we don't know for sure, to be fair, because right now the rule is with the EBU, they get to choose. I mean, assuming Ukraine won't host, which we are pretty sure it won't. Then they get all the bids from all the countries and then pick one. But I'm thinking you are on the right track. That I think the odds are they have a good excuse to say, hey, let's give it to the UK. They have a really suitable offer, so we're going to go with this one. But we'll find out. I think we have to absorb everything else that has been transpiring over the last hour or so. But to go back to the UK, this is their 16th time that they finished in second place, and they've had this 15 second place record for since 1998. That was the last time they did it, and here they are again. But I think they should be thrilled because it was close. Spain was only like 8 points behind them, who were actually really, really close. Are you happy? I mean, why would you're happy for everyone anyway, just like I am. But did you see it coming, even like as a beginning, and seeing the performance, UK could battle it out here at the top?
Well, I'll be honest. I mean, I always knew, and especially when you look at the, sorry, I'm driving to the Ukrainian performance while I'm talking. I always knew that the people who were going to pick up the jury votes was going to be Sweden, Ukraine, Azerbaijan, who got a couple, the UK, Greece, and Spain. Like, I knew that this was going to be the bundle of where 12 points were going to go. And so I wasn't shocked that the UK was the one who picked up the most. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, they and Spain both tied with, I think, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, sorry, UK got 12 points. Spain got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so they tied. Spain and UK tied for the most 12 points of the night. And that's actually what I expected would happen. I expected that there would be delegations or juries that would reward both of these packages. And then other 12 points would go, where the 12 points went. So I didn't expect the UK to pull out 12 points. I thought they would be kind of in the Greece realm of like 4 to 5 12 points. But hey, 12 points, especially between two countries that literally a year ago this time were bottom 5 nil points with the televotes have ended up top 3 in the preceding contest. And that goes to the concept of just because
and then
you don't
vice versa for France, actually, interestingly enough.
Yeah, and vice versa for France. But it goes to the concept of just because you don't do well in Eurovision 1 year or a couple of years doesn't mean you should give up. It means that you should reassess and figure out what is not working and go again and figure out what you're going to do differently. Spain did Benidorm. The UK had a new collaboration with Tap Music. These are the things that you have to sit down and think about, and that's how you end up in the UK and Spain's shoes rather than in France's shoes, who just did the same thing. They were like, well, this was successful last year. Let's do it again and see if it'll be successful. And it just wasn't.
Yep. It wasn't. It was, damn, I'm still shaking. This was such a crazy, like when I saw so many countries getting because we had this 0-pointer with Switzerland from the televote, but for the most part, everyone got 2 points, 5 points, 6 points, right? And then we knew okay, that's going to be even worse than what we saw last year, where all the points were consolidated behind a couple of entries. We saw that coming, which then was ironic because I was like, Germany was the first one down 6 points. And I was like, wow, at least no 0-pointer, even though they're last in the televote probably as well. And then they were probably 20th, probably 19th in the televote probably. They were not even that bad, even though 6 point isn't great. Was that weird, huh?
They were, let's see. So Switzerland was last. Australia was 24th with 2 points. Azerbaijan was 23rd with 3 points. Belgium was 5th with 5 points. And then, Germany was 21st with 6 points, which, I mean, honestly, I think Germany is just happy because they didn't finish absolute zero. I mean, they still finished last.
Still something to reevaluate. Yeah, and they can come home and be like, we don't have 0. If that's your goalpost, then you may want to consider moving it a little.
Yeah, just a smidge. I mean, I still believe that the definition of success of not being bottom 5 is really just a fallacy of logic. That it's not. That's not really a successful Eurovision entry is not something that's not bottom 5. But for a country that continuously ends up in that final slot, then yes, I think that's what you said. We maybe need to move the goalpost and figure out why are we always last and how can we move that to be more competitive.
Yes.
Or talk to the UK, figure out what they do.
Yes. And I just want to make a public announcement real quick because people keep pinging me. And you can check our social media for additional information. I just want to read what we said on our social media. And while ES United will always follow EBU guidelines, we must articulate our dissatisfaction and frustration with the notification that was sent out today to the press center. Our content is free here, but expensive to manage, and donations from our viewers help to keep costs low. By taking this approach, the EBU has directly endangered our work, and that is why we can no longer accept any super chats or any kind of support from you guys. So I just wanted to know why this all had been turned off, and we'll talk about that more in due time. But for now, let's focus on Eurovision. So I'm trying to bring up the I don't think they have posted the breakout yet of the semis. But Connor helped me keep updated because sometimes they hide them weirdly and I don't see them right away.
Yeah, someone had said that they were posted. So if anyone,
there's a scorecard. I see a scorecard. Oh no, there's a scorecard. That's not a score.
That's for casting your own personal votes.
Yes.
Aha. Thank you. Where is it? IMN 17.
Where is it?
Is
it in the chat?
I got you. Check Facebook.
Okie dokie.
There you go. Thank you to our super sleuths on the internet.
All right, let's look at that first. So Albania came 12th, and the borderline qualifier was Croatia.
Wow.
Not again, Croatia.
Wow.
Oh, who would have thought? And who came last? Slovenia. I know that was expected. Okay,
Wow. Wow.
Yes, Denmark 13th, Latvia 14th, Austria 15th.
Mm-hmm.
And Ukraine obviously won with 337 points. Netherlands second. They dropped quite a bit.
That's crazy. I'm more so shocked to see Netherlands in the second position right there.
Mm-hmm.
Especially when you go back and you look at her jury result and televote result. I mean, her televote was pretty okay. She got
nothing to
Let's flip back over here. 42 points from the public.
Considering how it went, that's actually pretty good.
But she only got 12 point from Italy, and I think if I remember the scoreboard correctly, she was somewhere kind of in the middle of things.
Yes.
But yeah, I was correct in the fact that Switzerland and Iceland were our bubble qualifiers there. And I think Marius, again, as we saw from the jury versus televote, super high in the jury, super low in the televote, aggregate down to 9th place. So, but just for those who are curious, since we can see them and not everyone can read, Kalush Orchestra won the semifinal with 337 points. The Netherlands S10 came in second with 221. Greece's Amanda Tenfjord got 211 points in third place. Portugal's Maro is in fourth with 208. Armenia's Rosalind was 187 points for fifth. Norway's Subwoofer was in 177 with sixth place. Monika Liao of Lithuania, 159 points, seventh. Moldova, Zabzidov and the Advahav brothers, 154 and 8th. Marius Bear, Switzerland, 118 and 9th. And Sister from Iceland, 103 points and 10th. So if you look at that breakdown between 5th place, 187, and 10th place, there's a gap of 84 points. Whereas on the top for Ukraine to Rosalind, that is a difference of about 150 points.
Yeah.
That's a pretty big spread overall.
At least you can want to add, because Iceland was a borderline qualifier. In 10th place, they got 103 points. Croatia got 75 points. So at least there is a decent gap. So people may not be as upset about it, in terms of like where it was 2 points, man. But that is probably the biggest surprise that Croatia came in 11th place, and in some ways maybe that's almost encouraging, even though it's the second year in a row where they just came this close to qualifying.
I have the second semifinal results. Would you like those?
I'm going on that. Yeah, start reading. Actually, who won it?
Sweden won with 396 points, which means that she technically beat Kalush Orchestra in the semifinal point-wise. Australia was in second with 243 points. That is 153 point separation.
Oh my God.
Between first and second.
Did you guys check the 11th place? I'm so sorry, I'm skipping to that. Check the 11th place.
The 11th place is North Macedonia. 20 point difference.
That was the juries, I'm sure, right?
Yes. But anyway, so 153 point difference for second. Konstrakta of Serbia is 237 points. So that is literally a 6-point spread there. For third place, Czech Republic's We Are Dami, 227, 10 points difference for fourth. Estonia Stefan, 209 points for fifth. Poland's Achman, 198 points for sixth. Finland's the Rasmus in seventh with 162. Belgium is Jeremie Makiese, 151 eighth. Romania's Urs, 118. So that's a big drop for ninth. And then Azerbaijan's Nadir for 96 points in 10th. That is a little shocking to me, but after the televote, not shocking to me.
Yeah. They don't give us
an jury.
They don't give us an easy way to look at how the jury voted, right? You can only see it by country, right?
Well, you can look at it detailed.
Yeah, the details, but it doesn't give you you have to go for each country, right?
You have to work through every single country and juror and everything. So
yeah, so we can't tell you right this moment how the juries voted versus the televoters. We can only make assumptions. Israel came 13th, by the way. I know that people were wondering about that as well. Cyprus,
I can tell you, if you're interested, even though the UK did not vote, Ireland did not vote for the UK in the final, Ireland did give their 12 points to the UK in the semifinal. So for all those who are
Ireland get the points with 12 points to the UK. That you kind of give points to the UK in the semis.
No. Ireland in the final gave their 12 points to Spain.
Gotcha.
But in the final, in the grand final, Ireland gave 12 points to the UK. Sorry, reverse that. UK gave Ireland 12 points. Sorry, I'm reading this backwards.
I was you're confusing me.
My brain hurts. For Ireland, flip it and reverse it. The UK public gave Ireland 12 points.
Yeah.
My brain, it's reading backwards.
That is just a crazy thing. So one thing, let me bring that up here as well. I believe, I haven't looked it up yet, but if I'm not mistaken, did Moldova come second in the televote?
Well, they're still pulling up the everything, but I don't know off the top of my head.
They got like 2.
Oh, you mean in the final?
Yes, in the final.
That I can tell you.
Didn't they get like the second highest score, if my memory serves me correctly?
No, they did not, because Spain. So Ukraine got 439, so they were first. Okay. Spain got 228, so they were second. Serbia got 225, so they were third.
And Moldova?
And then Moldova got 200, so they were fourth.
I thought they got 250 something.
No, just 200, flat 200.
Oh, okay. It was so loud, so I couldn't even hear it. But people say, yes, Moldova was second. Are you sure you wrote that down correctly?
I'm pretty sure I wrote that down correctly.
I thought they said 250. Moldova 239.
I don't know. Maybe I wrote it down wrong. Okay. See, maybe in my excitement for Moldova, I didn't hear it correctly.
Yeah, because it was more than 200. Yes.
Let's go to the Wikipedia. Let's see if they've updated it. Sorry, it's hard to keep up with everything.
So how much gets Spain? How much did Spain get?
Spain received 228.
So then it means that we're second, actually, after all. Moldova, and I was like in your face, juries. I was so happy when that happens. Moldova deserved so much more.
Well, if Moldova truly got 239, then no, they were in second place, and then Spain would still be in third.
Yeah.
I just wrote it down wrong. So thanks for everyone for correcting me. I wrote
You're
all
fired. No.
I wrote all
I
25
know.
televote results down.
And it goes fast. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is crazy. By the way, people, we tried to answer some questions. I know we don't have super chat available right now, so I cannot pick them out. So you just do at ESC United. Azerbaijan got 0 points from the televoters in the semi. Mari saying that is a shocker. How did you get that so quickly?
I mean, they are uploading tabs as they go. So I mean, if you go to tabs,
okay. I haven't got...
Let me see if this one will work. That's not okay. Well, it's out there somewhere in the universe.
Because when you click on, now one side is not even working. When you click on detailed voting results, you only get, by. Okay, yeah. It's hard to read, but if someone has a link or something where you can show us, that would be great. But if not, we'll go for that. So that was crazy. So again, questions in the chat at ESC United. Let us talk through. Latvia got more points from the jury than the televote. Chris saying, how do you guys know all of that so quickly? You guys are amazing.
Well, so I mean, if you go into the actual detailed voting breakdown, it will tell you for each country. So like I'm looking at Australia right now. It will tell you what the Australian jury voted, and then also what the televote rank was from Australia as well. It's all in the same little tab.
Yes.
So like, for example, the Australian jury put Cyprus in 17th place, but the televote put them in 12th place overall. Yeah. So that's where they're getting a lot of that info from. But again, it's off across multiple tabs, so that's too much data for me to take in right now.
Eurovision World already has it up, apparently.
Damn, they just code crackers here.
22. I'm clicking on it right now. So, but I don't know how they. Let's look at this together, shall we? Let me share my screen here real quick so everyone in the chat can see it as well. Hold on tight. If I knew how to do this, share.
Oh wow, they have the semifinal breakdown too.
Let's take a look at this together. All right, can you all see my screen?
Sure can.
Yeah, I did something right for once. Let me zoom in a little. So we know this semi at the grand final, and how do you go to the semi here? I don't know how that works.
So if you scroll up
right there,
more, semifinal one.
I zoomed in too much. Now I don't even have to scroll all the way.
Yeah.
So let's take a look. So the televote in the first semi.
Wow.
Ukraine 202 wasn't even that big of. I mean, it was still a great, fantastic lead. Moldova came second. Armenia third. That's crazy. Norway fourth. I mean, that's so close here. Look at the points. 1-5, 104, 103.
Wow.
Lithuania.
That's crazy.
So
I told you Switzerland aggregated. Scroll down to Switzerland for me.
Second to last.
11 points.
11 points. Second to last. Slovenia came last. And
so they literally did this.
Yes. Iceland didn't do too hot. But then let me count because it's not like. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, 10. So Iceland was the 10th place still for the televoter. So they still would have qualified anyway.
Yeah.
And Albania would have qualified, but it wasn't like a crazy, situation. 46 because they only got 12 from the juries. That what really buried it. Other than that, that's the only disagreement. No, I'm like, Switzerland in, Albania out, right? But it wasn't basically. Not like a total disaster.
And the televote and the juries, at least for the non-qualifiers, seem to have agreed for the most part. I mean, places move a little bit, but that's really the only thing that was surprise, or I guess a shock.
The juries were close. Look,
yeah,
Greece 151, they won this semi with the juries. The Netherlands second, Ukraine third, still high, just not quite as high. But I can see, the juries seem to be, I think, without the terrible situation in Ukraine, it seems like they still would have ended up like that anyway. Because it sounds like a song that may not win the jury vote, but still has a lot of appreciation. Portugal fourth, and then Switzerland fifth. That is what dragged them up. 107 points. Armenia 6, Norway 7. That's not bad. Iceland 8, Lithuania 9, and Croatia actually 10th. So it would have been up to the juries. Croatia would have qualified. Instead, Moldova squeezed in with 135 points. So, which was second with the. Yeah, I don't agree with the juries on this one at all. But they put Austria last. The juries, vocally, I can see that. Slovenia still low, and Bulgaria. Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Just wait till you look at semi 2. I said I looked ahead. Just wait till you look at semi 2.
Cheater squeak. Okay, let me move to semi 2 real quick. And I'm sorry, I cannot look at the chat right now, y'all, because I'm sharing my screen. I'm learning all of this as we speak.
And I want you to scroll all the way down to the bottom.
Oh, televote?
Yes, all the way to the bottom, please.
Azerbaijan.
Last.
Got 0 points. Holy smokes. I knew it's going to be a difference, but I didn't expect to be a 0-pointer.
I was not expecting that either.
Georgia, second to last, and Malta, North Macedonia.
Wow.
And then Montenegro. So let's count again. So televote puts tie for Sweden and Serbia, basically, right? They probably had a tiebreaker.
Yeah.
So I don't know who won that one. Third.
Oh, it probably would have been Sweden with the jury, theoretically.
No, because usually I mean in the televote, not with the jury. I mean, you know what I mean, like the ranking. They break it. Whoever got more votes from more countries. Basically.
Probably, I guess. Yeah,
that's usually the rule. So Czech Republic third, which was a great performance. And then they dropped so much in the televote in the finals, which then brings up the conversation. Running order matters. I keep saying it matters a lot, at least in the beginning. 3.
Oh wow, Romania.
4,
High.
5. Yeah.
Wow.
Ooh, ouch. We're going to see them at 5 for the televoters. Finland 6. That is a pleasant surprise. Estonia 7. I thought they're going to be a little higher, actually. I thought they would be
Australia 8, did pretty good there.
74. Cyprus would have made it, according to the televoters, in 9th place.
Yeah.
And Belgium, say what you want, they were in the top 10 of the televoters. So you cannot fault them. There were people the juries. They would have made it anyway. Granted.
They aggregated down, or actually, no, they ended up at the same spot. Same slot. They came 8th overall once everything was said and done. But in the jury, Belgium came 4th overall.
Yeah. So Cyprus is so overall the televoters got most what they wanted. In both semis, they lost 1. In this case, Cyprus always in 9th place, and then got Azerbaijan in. Let's take a look at the juries.
That's crazy.
So, Sweden won, of course. It doesn't surprise me. Australia 2nd. I was expecting actually these top 2. Estonia 3rd. That surprised me. I didn't think the juries would like it as much. So that's a pleasant surprise. Yeah. Belgium 4th. We knew that would be probably a jury pleaser. Czech Republic 5th. Pleasant surprise as well. Azerbaijan 6th, and that was just enough to get them into the top 10.
Yeah, literally just by the hair of their chin.
Yeah, what's the point difference? We're going to check that in a moment. Poland 7th, right? Yeah, 7th, 84. Then Serbia 8th. I could see that. I'm glad it would have qualified with the juries. Without Finland 9th and North Macedonia 10th. So the jury said North Macedonia should have made it to the finals if it were up to them. Oh my God, that is just it's 20 points separate between Azerbaijan, and so they needed at least an additional 20 points. So it wasn't like super close, but still. And then of course Romania. They would have said no to Romania, but the televoter said, you're wrong. So let's take a look at it's fascinating. I'm gonna marinate or whatever. Let's go back to the final real quick because we never really see the order in this televote. We know who won. Ukraine 439. It said Moldova 239. I mean, you have the rest yourself now. I think for the most part. So I just want to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So Estonia came 10th with the televoters, and that's a good result. Poland came 9th. Top 10 with them. Actually, the televoters gave it significantly more than the juries. Once again, the juries just don't support Poland. And then 8th place, Italy. 7th place, Norway. 6th place, Sweden. So UK actually only came 5th with the televoters. So that is very interesting. Serbia 4th, Spain 3rd, Moldova 2nd, and then Ukraine 1st. Thoughts? I'm also surprised. My thoughts is like Sweden came 6th. I thought that would be a little higher, but hey, that's the name of the game.
Well, I think the nail in the coffin for them was Serbia's televote. If they were able to actually, if they had flipped each other, their televotes had flipped each other, Serbia probably, well, let's do math for a hot second here. 438 minus 180. 5 would be at 483. So Sweden would have actually been in second place, I think, if I did that math correct, perhaps. So, yeah, I mean, if they literally had flopped each other or flipped each other,
all right.
then...
Sorry to interrupt you. So here you can see 12, 12, 12, 12, 10, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 10, 12, 12, 12, 12, 12, 10, 10, 12, 10, da, 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 da. The lowest score they've received are 1-7 from Serbia. So Serbia gave them the lowest score of 7.
Yeah.
That is madness.
That I think that would be probably the most... This year would probably be the most in tune that the televote has ever been with each other across all the countries.
Yeah, and I don't
think we're ever going to see it again. Let me make that clear. Never going to happen
this will
again.
Be a once in a lifetime kind of situation. Yes,
yeah.
I would agree with that. And these are the 5 countries that gave 12. I know that only 4 countries gave them 24 points: Poland, Moldova, Latvia, and Lithuania. So they got 12 from the juries and 12 from the televote. Those 4 countries. And everybody else, 22, 19, 18. So still a lot of points. But yeah, fascinating. I'm curious just to see Moldova, because they're number 2. They got so many televote points. So they got at least 2 12-pointers, and then
Then they got 12 points from Romania. Shocker.
Did I hear it right? Moldova gave 0 points to Romania, the jury. Yeah, look. Moldova gave 0 points to Romania. I thought I looked at it correctly. I was like, shut the front door.
That's points to Moldova. Romania gave 0 points from the jury to
Moldova. That's what I meant. Moldova's jury gave 0 points to Romania. That's what I meant, yeah. Wow. Yeah. Zowie wowie. Okay.
And I also want to say, I think it's, while we're on the topic of points and neighbor voting, I think it's hysterical that I called the Greece 12 points and everyone was like, well, Cyprus is out. Where's Greece's points going to go? And I said, well, the last time that Cyprus wasn't there, they gave them to Azerbaijan. And lo and behold, the Greek points went to Azerbaijan.
Yeah. This is crazy sauce. But yeah. Matt, see Cyprus. Televote, we gave 12 points to Ukraine and not Greece. Now that is huge. That is a big point, Ellen, as well, because I think that is just speaks a lot to people who just really wanted to support Ukraine. And that is exactly what happened here. It's rare, but that's just how it panned out. Some people on Twitter have reported that there have been some problems with voting in the second semi, and the EBU had to make a statement about it. I would love to hear that has not come up during the second semi. So I'm curious what they were referring to.
Yeah, and I haven't seen anything come up on my side. So
yeah, because we jumped right on here. So
and I mean, keep in mind, a lot of people have been saying that the EBU's been making a statement about this and a statement of that, but a lot of things have not been actually formally made as statements from the EBU. So, I mean, we have not seen anything unless someone has a link to it and you can kind of link us to it so we can read through it. Yes. We have not seen anything that has reported otherwise that there were irregularities.
I like to see an official statement or some little more insight. We didn't have any time to research it because we were online as soon as the winner was announced. So again, any questions in the chat at ESC United? The whole arena chanted Greece, then waiting for Cyprus 12 points was jokes. I don't know. I wasn't in the arena.
Everyone, you could hear it on the broadcast. Everyone, when Cyprus was kind of waiting and waiting, like,
make it like
12 points go to, everyone was like, Greece, 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 and he just said Greece, and they're all like, ah ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Someone saying Portugal's third best result after Salvador and Lucia Muniz. What is the final ranking for Portugal?
Portugal is in... Where'd they go? 9th place overall.
That is, yeah, they're rarely in the top 10. So that is I mean, it was the jury's helping them a lot, but still, that's 50% of the vote. It doesn't matter. So that was very interesting. So let me just one more time, let me go back. I mean, I'm not going to share my screen, but I want to go back to the televote in the grand final, because we said, there were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 countries that got less than 10 points. Switzerland 0, Australia 2, Azerbaijan 3, Belgium 5, Czech Republic 5, Germany 6, and France 8. So those are some very interesting. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Germany's in 20th place. They weren't even the bottom 5. It's the irony here, and they still came last, right? Because they just got 0 points from the juries. Were you surprised that the juries gave Germany nada? I was. I thought that there's juries will give them a few more points than the televoters, but
yeah, I thought someone I was like, surely someone will give them a point.
Jendrik got points.
Something somewhere. But yeah, 0 points from any jury was a little shocking. I mean, I really liked the performance. I think it was one of those songs that I didn't really like in the studio, and then as it happened on the stage, I was like, wow, I feel like this could be in contention for something I would want to vote for if I was in the arena.
Yes.
So I figured someone out there, one of the jurors, would have given something to it. But I mean, hey, again, as long as y'all didn't come 0 overall, I guess that's a win for Germany.
A win. That's it's not a loss for them. But I still think that I hope they're going to go back home. Nothing against Malik, wonderful artist. It was just not the right song for it. It's not a competitive entry. So, but I'm more talking about the broadcaster going back to the drawing board and say, let's listen, let's pay attention. Let's not be as cocky as we always are, and in terms of figuring it out how to pick, because they always seem to be self-assured about what they're doing, and they just don't. And just try something a little different, be a little bit more daring. And I'm not just referring to what they're called now, electric, what they're called, the band that everybody wanted in Germany. I forgot the name. They changed it from Eskimo to electric something.
Oh, I didn't even know, but it was Eskimo Callboy.
Yeah, they're called Electric Callboy. So, yes.
Interesting.
And I know that, but let's not even get stuck on that. Yeah, so Electric Callboy, yes. So, be more daring. Look at the songs that did well. Most of them, at least. They were daring choices. So, yeah. And hopefully they will learn from it.
Yeah, well, and I've said this before, and I won't go into too much detail, but I think Germany's perspective when it goes wrong is they're looking for a radio hit, and they play them all on the radio. Their public televote comes from the radio. Their songs are picked by radio people, and I think that is the issue. Is that, again, try something different. Don't just go for something on the radio, because that's not different. That is going for what's currently out there on the market. You're looking for something that's not out there, like the Chanels and the Sam Ryders and the Cornelia Jakobs that aren't on the radio but could be on the radio. That's what you're looking for.
Yeah. Anna is asking, why do you think France flopped both in juries and televote? That was a big surprise to me. I could see a jury flop. I thought the televoters would actually like that. You can make a case, bad running order. You can, there's certain things that you can make a case for, but I think just it didn't come across. I love that song. I think it was an amazing performance, but it just wasn't meant to be. I'm looking at the running order. Romania had the highest score from the first 6 entries with 53, because the opening act, Czech Republic, got 5 televote points when they came so high. I think 3rd in the televote in the semis. Once again, running order makes a difference. Romania 53 points because that song was fun and a lot of people liked it. You can make a case it would have done significantly better in the second half. Portugal got 36 points, and that's a drop as well from their semis as well, I believe, in the televote. And then Finland got 26, Switzerland 0. I guess that's not too big of a surprise. France got 8. We never know because, that's the only time they took part. And then it starts picking up with Norway, 146 in 7th running order. But even Armenia dropped to 21. They all drop. Some of them have to drop. They can all say, I get that.
Right.
I'm talking about patterns, so.
Yeah. Well, and I think it's one of those things. I mean, it's psychology. It's the recency effect. You're more likely in the recap to remember the things that come at the end, which is part of why the producers, I think, put some of the fan favorites like Italy and Spain and Ukraine kind of at the tail
Well,
end
Italy
of the
was
running order.
predetermined, but everybody
Right. But like, you're like, okay, I'm gonna clump these together, and then putting, which obviously based off of the results minus the UK, Sweden, Austria, UK, Poland, and Serbia all together in a big clump, because you want people to remember the songs that did well from the semifinal voting patterns. So
Yes.
yeah.
Eva asked a good question here, or like an interesting one. How are jury votes so similar? That always confuses me. Is there a jury community that we are not aware and they discuss songs or something? Yes, it's a big community, and you refer, and now it's just it's a similar like televote. You can make the same case. Why are the televoters often vote for the same songs? It's a similar concept. Juries have like some instructions on how to, not how to vote, like which countries to vote for, like what to look out for kind of situation. And musicians, they listen to other things often. I come from a little bit of a musical background. I'm not saying I know better, but I know every time I go home, we watch Eurovision together, they get a little bit too analytical for my taste, ruining it almost the experience for me. Like, I understand it's a good song though, just shut up, But they take it apart and they say this is good and that da 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 da. And I'm like, and I think a lot of these with that background, they really go in there with a scalpel and look at that thing in a little bit more detail, and often they come to similar conclusions. And I think that's what it comes down. What do you think, Connor?
Yeah, I think it's just a matter of, especially when you look at some of the songs up in here that came, we'll move Serbia off with my statement off to the right. So I guess the top four. I think that these were very accessible songs to the jury. I mean, obviously, Ukraine didn't come very high in the jury, but still was awarded points, versus Sam, Chanel, and Cornelia being towards the top, and Italy, and Greece. So I think there's no one answer one can give on why the juries gravitate around similar things. But I mean, yes, there's a little bit of politics and a little bit of neighbor voting in there, but I think it's also, you have to think about, there's a lot of musical origins. Like, and when we think about Greece and Cyprus, they have the same music industry. They work together, and so it's obvious that they would support each other because they come from the same origins. So I think that's a piece of it. I think it's based off of the accessibility, and then I also think it's just the personal taste of that country. There are certain genres in certain countries that are not going to go as well with juries as others. Like if it's a highly pop dominated industry, then a pop song is going to go well. If it's a country that loves EDM, then EDM is going to do well. If it's a country that's like Finland, rock's going to do well. Like, you can kind of pick out what's going to go where.
Yeah.
So we only have all three of those.
Yeah. I mean, the press conference hasn't started yet, I don't think. But let's say we have time for a few more questions. Do you think the people who voted for Ukraine are doing anything to actively help them? I have my doubts. I cannot speak for every person. I don't know. I'm sure there are. I mean, this is something that they felt they wanted to do, and that's it for me. I cannot sit here and judge people, as Connor said earlier, for the decision that they make and why they would vote for a song. Just like, why would you vote for this song? That's your personal decision. You may not agree with it, but these are also unique times. So you also need to remember that as well.
Right. And I think as well, I mean, I think activism for everyone is different. And I think that this is a great stand of solidarity. I would hope that people have been doing things to help Ukraine besides just, voting for them. But I mean, yeah, it is what it is, and that's again something that we can't.
Yeah,
we don't know.
Laura Marie asked a good question as well. Did you guys think that anyone tonight was a letdown compared to their earlier performances? I will say one that came to me personally. I think that Italy was not good live. I thought the vocals were a little off and it was just not feeling good. So I was a little bit disappointed by that final package because I know they were really good in the jury show. How do you feel, Connor? Which one did you think was off?
Yeah, I feel similarly about Italy. I don't know what it was. There's just a couple of notes in there that were just maybe a little off the path of where they should have been. And I think it's just a matter of you have two really good vocalists who perhaps are not as accustomed to singing together. And so that I think complicates things when you put them on stage and you also obviously are still exhausted from all that touring that they were doing. So I think that was one that just, again, the live show or the jury show, it seemed great, and I was really excited, and I was like, I really enjoyed that performance. And then things were just a little off the mark. I still don't know if I 100% agree or understand the Belgian performance. So I think that one was a little bit for me as well. But again, he did really well in the jury show. But I think in the live show, I was still just kind of like,
Yeah, he was a little bit,
you did
which
it.
is funny because in the semis it was flipped around, I think, because he kind of was meh in this jury show and then better in the live show. So it was very interesting. Anna asked, did you expect so much support to Spain from the jury? She did better than Eleni Ferreira's jury. So my hunch told me it's going to be like she could pull a similar kind of outcome. I am pleasantly surprised that it did so well. It just shows that you cannot always just completely anticipate their reaction. Were you surprised?
Sorry, I blanked out for a hot second. Who?
Spain. Were you surprised that Spain got such a good? Yeah.
Spain. No, I'm not shocked. I mean, you heard the the crowd roar for Spain. The press center has been going mad for it. I mean,
yeah, but
Eurovision
the juries itself.
But I mean, for the juries, I think the thing that really helped her is the fact that it was a flawless vocal performance. Like, especially when you take into consideration that she is dancing the hell out of that stage and still delivering a flawless vocal performance. And I think that's what helped her with the juries, is that they were like, wow, you can do both of these at the same time, and I am entertained. And I think
they're still going with the big notes. Like, she actually switched up, like when she did the jury note.
And also it makes it more memorable because you're like, holy cow, do you remember that this is the Spain performance? I love the Spanish song, and it again triggers you want to vote for it a little bit more. Let's see, I'm scrolling around chat.
Okay, I thought you were
nope.
Yes. Give me 1 second. If you look at the points, the biggest difference between jury and televote is Ukraine. What do you think on that? I know, uncomfortable question. Well, here's the thing. The juries liked. The televote is such a unique outcome. It's very difficult to use that because even if the juries would have given them even more points, it still probably would have been the biggest discrepancy because they were just so far ahead in the televote that it's not really a great measure to say that, use that. I really just think it's a televote that just, as I said, we keep repeating ourselves, that just who the people wanted to vote for. And that's all there is to it. The jury still loved it, liked it very much.
Well, and that's the thing is that, I mean, very often in Eurovision, especially recent Eurovisions, is that we very, very rarely see the jury vote winner also be the televote winner or be the actual winner of Eurovision. It has always been like the person who comes second or third in the jury and then comes first in the televote, and they whatever. So the juries and the televote never agree on with each other when it comes
certainly
to
not since 2014. Since 2014, the last time with Conchita, it only not the last time. Since then, we only had Salvador, right, where they agreed. That was the only one. Yeah.
That was the only one. And I think that one is just that one. Salvador Sobral was so over there. Like, it was so obvious and we knew it was going to happen. But yeah, at most years, it's just a matter of how many points do you pick up over here versus over here. And again, as Ukraine has proved, you could come, I think it was like 9th or 10th in the jury and still win the contest if you beat out everyone else in the televote. Again, I don't think that this is going to happen again. I don't think we're going to see someone come from 9th or 10th in the jury to win Eurovision. I think this is a special case, but it can happen. The numbers are there. It can happen.
Yeah, I mean, look, so they got 469. No, 430 something. I mean, right? So I'm just trying to think here. Let me go back here. They could have ended up like probably in 15th place and still would have won. How many points did the UK get? Let me see here. The UK got 466. That's still a great score. So, but considering that they got 430 something from the televote, they only need like 30 let's say 40 points. I don't, just the top of my head right now. So that means that could have been in the jury with 40 points. That could have been that is what basically Armenia got. And Armenia was in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, like in 16 or 17th place with the juries. And they still would have won.
Mm-hmm.
So that is how dramatic the televote was on this one.
Yeah.
So
yeah, someone put in chat they could have gotten 19th place.
19th place. Oh, I thought you were just guessing it. I thought
no. Someone said I'm going to go off of them.
Okay.
but I mean, I think this isn't the first time we've seen it though. So I want to make that apparent. I mean, we saw Michael Spot from Poland in 2016, who did something very similar. I don't even remember where he was, but I want to say like 18th or 17th in the
No, he was like last or second to last.
Last place. I don't know. I don't remember. I don't remember where he was specifically.
Last or second to last. I forgot.
And then moved all the way over to, I think he was like top 12 or 10 or something because of his overall televote.
So he came third in the televote and then moved up to 8th place. It's
not the first time we've seen a jump like this. It's just we've never really seen that jump and dictate for us the actual winner of Eurovision. It's usually been like the Kainos of, oh, well, you end up 3rd or 4th place, but you don't win.
Yeah. And if you think about it, even though they're putting the big point difference aside, it's kind of similar outcome what we had last year with Måneskin. They came 4th with the juries and 1st with the televoters and won it all. So technically we have the same situation here, except it's a dramatic, difference in points. Mm-hmm. So that is what differentiated. But yeah, it's not unheard of what happened here in terms of like positioning, but it's just the point distribution was insane. Did one of the cameras break? What?
The OGA Ukraine member just got a big hug from Kalush Orchestra in the press conference.
Good for them.
That's so cute.
Yeah. I'm sure the question about hosting will come up.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure it will. Not that they have an answer. But
there is an EBU statement on voting irregularities in Semi-2 with 6 countries.
Where
is the statement?
Links, yeah. Links.
If you just say it, that doesn't help us.
I can't Google enough things to find it.
Yeah, and we're live streaming here, so I'm going to the EBU statement place here right now, and I don't have anything there. I can go to the Eurovision account.
I see it.
Can you read it?
Okay, hold on. Mute. There we go. Where'd it go? There we are. Okay. In the analysis of jury voting on the EBU Pan-European voting partner after the second dress rehearsal, the second semifinal of the 2022 Eurovision Song Contest, lots of filler, certain irregular voting patterns were identified in the results of 6 countries. In order to comply with the contest voting instructions, the EBU has worked with its partner to calculate a substitute aggregated result for each country concerned for both the second semifinal and the grand final, calculated based on the results of other countries. The EBU takes any suspected attempts to manipulate the voting at the Eurovision Song Contest extremely seriously and has the right to remove such votes in accordance with the official voting instructions, irrespective of whether or not such votes are likely to influence the results or the outcome. So it doesn't say who.
So what does it mean now? So does it mean there's going to be an adjustment made, or what does it mean?
I would have to assume, because it says that they will calculate a substitute aggregated result for each country, calculated based on the results of other countries with similar voting records.
Yeah. I mean, is there a possibility that things could change? I doubt that the qualifiers would change, because Croatia, who was in 11th place, was like a good 40 points behind the next one. So it's unlikely, I think. But North Macedonia...
People are pointing out, I mean, they have a fair point. There are 6 juries that are missing off the list of things, which would be Georgia, Azerbaijan, San Marino, Montenegro, Romania, and Poland.
So those are the ones.
Perhaps they are the ones that are in question right now.
Yeah.
I'm just poking around at the juries in here, seeing if I see anyone. So for those who are perhaps interested, Niamh Kavanagh was on the Irish jury. Blanca Palomina from Benidorm was on the Spanish jury. Montaigne was on the Australian jury. We already knew that.
Real quick, before you continue, Martin
Mhm.
says the EBU adjustment has already been reflected in the second semifinal and final votes, somebody is saying.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Tusse was in the Swedish jury. Claudia Faniello was in the Maltese jury. I'm just trying to see if I recognize any other names in here. Interesting. The North Macedonian jury only had 4 members. I didn't think you could do that, but okay. Yeah, I don't recognize any other people on here. Let's look at semi 1. For semifinal 1, Serbuk is on the Armenian jury. Vitus Baumila, I think, is part of Pamanam Nauja, was on there. I think he's one of the jury members for them. Joust is on the Norwegian jury.
So lots
as
of
well.
definitely alumni from
Yeah,
previous.
Claudia Pascal from Portugal is in there. So yeah, a fair number of people that we are familiar with on the juries, and then of course industry people across the board as well.
Yeah. Now, in regards to the irregularities, I think this will kind of be an issue now because people say like, how did it happen? Why did this happen? How can we prevent this? I'm sure that the EBU has there will be a lot of answers they have to give over the next few weeks and months because there's a lot of stuff that happened in this particular year that we haven't noticed before. But we'll see. We'll give them some time to come up with their explanations and see where it leads us. But yeah, a lot has happened. So we do a few. We have to leave in a couple of minutes, but let's answer a few more questions here. At ESC United, just always in the chat. I'm just scrolling. I'm really glad for Konstrakta's great result, but I'm sure it was only because of the meme factor and not because people actually cared about the song. Unfortunately, Andy is saying. Now, I cannot speak for everyone. It's always, but I can only say my family in Germany. They all like that song. They're like, I don't get the song. Like they didn't know all the meme stuff. They just thought it was so mesmerizing. The clapping part and the weird like whole setup. That it was just like mesmerizing to them. And they just liked it. And I don't know if they voted for it in the finals, but they certainly voted for it in the semis. So I'm not too surprised. I don't think they didn't go beyond this whole, like, oh, this will be a good meme thing and everyone's talking about it. Granted, this is anecdotal evidence. I get that. But I personally don't believe that's the case.
Well, and I think as well, if you look back at the songs that are in their top 5 here, I mean, I don't TikTok. I'm not a TikTok person, but at least I know from UK from Sam Ryder, Chanel, and then obviously Konstrakta as well. I mean, I know that those have been making the circuit on TikTok. Chanel specifically for the choreography challenge. I know Sam Ryder has been having the Spaceman challenge. Konstrakta has been popping up for like soundtracks over videos. I'm not 100% sure about Kalush Orchestra. Again, don't do TikTok. But I mean, there are perhaps out there some benefits of your song. I mean, we saw this Think About Things last year with Dottie Frere. There are benefits to your song perhaps having that viral sensibility to it. But again, you don't write a song thinking that it's going to go viral. So I think that's the trade-off here. You have benefits, but you don't know if you write that song that it's going to be a viral TikTok trend or a meme. Yeah. You just write the song.
Yeah. Rasmussen was also in the jury, apparently. Somebody's saying so. Lots of familiar names from like the past, blast from the past. Do you think that the amount of ballads versus upbeat songs had an effect on the voting? Let me take a look here again. The televoting, they were certainly gravitating towards the upbeat songs. The 1, 2, 3, 4 top 5 were all at the bare minimum. We were not ballads. They were either upbeat or like what's Serbia? Serbia's not a ballad. It's kind of an upbeat song. It's just its own thing, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a ballad.
Ethnic pop is really what it kind of is.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. Sweden was the highest rated ballad with 180 points in 6th place with the televoters. And then Norway, not a ballad. And then Italy was the 2nd highest rated ballad, followed by Poland. So I think you can make a case that the ballots canceled each out a little bit because look at the bottom. Switzerland, Australia, Azerbaijan, right? And then those are the bottom 3. And then Germany's not that high, of course, but, it was never really a candidate. Iceland, 10 points, So yeah, I mean, you can make a case, but this is again not a scientific fact. It's just guessing. Could have been, or maybe those ballots just weren't good enough. Could have been easily, What do you think, Connor?
I mean, yeah, I think it obviously having a grand final that's very two-sided. We have a lot of kind of pop songs and a lot of slower songs kind of pushing against each other. They don't help each other in that category. So I think if we had perhaps, just the selections of things had gone a little differently, we had maybe some more mid-tempo-y songs to break things up. We may have seen a little bit of a shakeup in the things, but I think overall, I think it really came down less to the tempo of the songs, and I think it came down to really the fan favorites from basically all of their selections, with the exception of Sam Ryder, obviously, who was internal, did well. Italy did well. Moldova came out of nowhere. Konstrakta has been really well received. Cornelia Jakobs has been tipped as the winner for forever. Chanel, same thing. And then even, I mean, if you look at Norway, who's been a fan favorite in the 10th slot, Netherlands has been well talked about, and then Achman from Poland has been well talked about, and that's the top 12 right there. So I think, again, it comes down to yet less with the tempo and a little bit more about perhaps the drive and the push behind some of these songs.
Yeah. Do you have your most devastating moment or disappointing one? To me, it was most certainly the moment Switzerland got the 0 points from the televote and you saw Marius's head just go. And that's always heartbreaking to see something like that. And apparently somebody said in the chat that Sam Ryder went up to him and gave him a big hug. Sam Ryder should just be at Eurovision every year. He's the kind of spirit that we all need at Eurovision. And he just warms my heart. But that was probably my least favorite. That's why I hate everyone being on camera all the time for that. I know, great entertainment, great TV, but I hate that because it's enough pressure and stress to begin with. They don't need this whole not that people all do that, but it's still awkward. What was your moment that you kind of
I mean, probably Australia coming in with 2 points on the televote. I mean, I knew that this wasn't going to win. I mean, I want it to win aside. I knew that this was not going to be, 400 points from the televote or anything like that. I was expecting him to at least get somewhere around 30 to 60, somewhere in that spread, just enough to get points, but not a big high favorite. So 2 points, I mean, just, that hurt me in the gut. But again, I've been a massive Australia fan. I've been a big Sheldon Riley fan, so I wanted him to do pretty well. And he did end up doing pretty good. I mean, Australia ended up in 15th out of 40 songs overall. That is a pretty good result, especially when it was uncertain if Australia was even going to be able to make it to the contest. Because of COVID and everything like that. So pretty good.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of discussion, I'm sure, about all of that. It's just such a weird year. How do you define the irregularities? Is that math isn't working out or something else confusing a bit as well? We don't know all the details either, what they meant by that. I'm sure there will be more information coming out giving us specifics. Right now, it's more like, we're looking into this. Hold on. Stay tuned. We don't know. We can't give all the details.
It's a very vague way to put it out there. They also hold on.
Yeah. Is it on the EBU's Twitter?
Yes, there is a brand new statement on Ukraine's winning. Okay. The EBU says that we congratulate Ukraine and Kalush Orchestra on their win and superb performance. Now we will begin the planning of the 2023 planning for 2023 with the winning broadcaster UAPBC. We knew that. Obviously, there are unique challenges involved in hosting next year's contest. However, as in any other year, we look forward to discussing all the requirements and responsibilities involved in hosting the competition with UAPBC, Suspeline, if you call them that, and all other stakeholders to ensure that we have the most suitable setup for the 67th Eurovision Song Contest. So doesn't really tell us much, but it came in literally 35 seconds ago, so I thought I'd read it.
It's basically what they're saying. Everyone is asking, what's going to happen to hosting? They said, we'll find out. Because hosting I think that is actually, for once I was saying, that's a good statement. Because what are they going to say? They can't host it. Number one, is there a chance, a minimalistic chance, right? But it's a more like never say never kind of situation.
And I really feel like again, this is I know that I threw out the UK. I was just like I figured that they might just go like but like this is really going to come down to that time where Israel won back to back and then couldn't host or didn't want to host the
didn't
second
want to
year
host because it was like with a holiday, a celebration there.
Yeah,
going on.
it was a holiday and things like
Yeah.
that. So I think it's really going to come down to this, where I think UAPBC is going to be involved in the planning, but it's going to be a joint project of UAPBC and the secondary broadcast, who is the host city of the 2023 contest. So like, let's say if it's Spain, for example, if it's Barcelona, so Barcelona will be the host city, and RTVE and UAPBC will jointly host the contest. But most of obviously the organizational and funding side will come from RTVE as the host city broadcaster.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's it. That's all I was gonna say.
And somebody asked, like, who gave Australia 2 points? I'm wondering. I just looked it up. Interestingly enough, Azerbaijan gave 2 points to Australia in the televote. Again, not the country you would expect. Let's take a look who gave Germany the 6 points. It's just curious. My guess is Switzerland and Austria. Yeah, 2 from Austria, 2 from Switzerland, and 2 from Estonia. You just never know, right?
That's good.
That's good. Who else got little points? None.
Well, obviously, I mean, aside from our poor little Marius bear, Azerbaijan.
Azerbaijan got how many points?
3 points.
3 points. Let me see. Where is Azerbaijan on this thing? Azerbaijan. How many points did Azerbaijan give to Ukraine? I didn't even see them on here. There they are. 18. Okay. Azerbaijan got 3 points from Georgia, and how many points? Oh, they only got 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
Georgia got 3 points.
Belgium got 5 points.
Belgium got 5 points. And they got the points from the country that I'm about to tell you. And that one is 4 from the Netherlands and 1 from Moldova.
Interesting. Okay. And then the France 8 points.
France 8 points. La France, where are you? They gave 22. Here we go. They got 2. Oh, they have it spread out a little. 2 from Serbia, 2 from Moldova, 1 from Romania, 1 from Croatia, 1 from Greece, and 1 from Finland.
That's actually a pretty good spread.
Yep. So I have to head out here now. So this is the last live stream from Turin because my taxi leaves in 3 hours.
Whoa.
So I gotta get ready and pack up. So thank you for watching, everyone. Congratulations to Ukraine and all the countries did really well, and everyone taking part, because it is a big celebration of music, and that is what should always come first. Thank you for our moderators in the chat, Inspios and Osiros, who have been doing a tremendous job, and I hope you stick around for what's to come over the next few days and weeks, because we're not going to just disappear on you. So until then, have a good night, everyone. Get some rest, and I'll see you when I'm back in the US, probably. Bye.
Bye.